I greet you all and welcome. It's a lovely, sunny Sabbath day, and it's good to be back. And I just want to extend a very special welcome to a visitor that Sister Liz invited, Jelly Ann. She's from the Cameroons, and we're so glad that she's with us today. And I hope that you will learn from the presentation about toxic relationships. So we're going to talk about toxic relationships, but we cannot stop there. So there's a presentation on healthy relationships as well. So we must have a balance. So we must see it from both sides. Okay, so we're going to do both of them. And, what's a toxic substance? Sometimes we'll see on the drum, there's a skull, and toxic. It means don't consume it. It's dangerous. It's not good for you. Because something that's toxic, and especially a toxic relationship, can damage you, it drains you, and also it can deplete you, because it's tough to be in such a relationship. So young people, take note there, because many find themselves, and not only young people, but married people as well, find themselves in toxic relationships, and sometimes they're not even aware about it. It's a toxic relationship. So a toxic relationship can irrevocably damage your sense of self-worth. So keep that in mind. It can damage your self-worth, that you think so little about yourself. Like many relationships, it got off on a good start. There were lots of excitement, warmth, conversation were just fluent. The chemistry was electric. The attraction was strong. And you know, and you couldn't get enough of each other. I think back many years ago, 41 years back, that was the experience. But isn't that true, young people? Now, this is what one young lady relates. She related this following. I felt a pull towards him, unlike anything I had felt ever before. I saw signs of trouble early, but convinced myself that it would pass. Things will come right. He will change eventually. So time went by, and things only got worse, not better. And then she said, I was no longer the fun, outgoing person. I was no longer optimistic, confident, and full of light. Instead, I felt constantly on the edge, painfully insecure, drained, and sad. That's what the toxic relationship can do to you. She said, I lived under a dark cloud of fear that it would end. It means that it would leave me. I may have been miserable with him, but I believe that without him, man, I'm going to die. I wouldn't make it without him. So I'm just going to stay in this relationship. And she said, I stayed even though he gave me many reasons not to. In the end, he was the one that left. You was the one that left. And as I expected, I felt gutted, finished. It was only when the relationship inevitably imploded that I was able to see just how toxic the situation was, or had been, and how badly it had damaged my sense of self. You see, so toxic relationships damage your self-worth. It takes away your self-worth. At the end, you will think that I am the problem and I'm nothing. She said, part of the reason I didn't see it sooner is that I didn't know what to look out for. So that's a problem. That many don't even realize that they're in a toxic relationship. They don't know what to look out for, the signs. She said, I let my strong feelings for him blind me to everything else. My friends warned me and they told me about the changes in myself, and I ignored them. My gut feeling told me that something is wrong, and then I didn't want to listen to my gut feeling. I choose not to see things as they were and instead focus on how I wanted things to be. Isn't that true? Blinkers on. You rather focus on how you want things to be. I minimized all that was bad and clung tightly to whatever scraps of good I could find, and that was all I needed to keep going. The pain stayed long, even after the relationship was over, and those wounds took a very long time to heal. Now, you see, many people find themselves and they remain in such relationships because they do not know the signs and what to look out for. And a toxic relationship can destroy your life. So we're going to look at 5 signs to look out for. The first one, you never feel good enough. You feel that everything that you do, it's not good enough to please him. And if there's something that you do that makes him happy, and he mentions that to you, and it makes you feel good again, so then you will just try harder and harder to get that feeling, to get his approval from him. Okay, so that's the first one. But no matter how hard you try, you never feel like you're enough or like you're doing things right. You live in a constant state of unease, of second-guessing yourself, of trying to be better and good enough. So that's the first one. You never feel good enough. The second one, you can't be yourself. You can't be yourself. Okay. Now, one sign of a healthy relationship is that I can just be myself. Don't have to be ashamed of it. I don't have to put on or act out of myself, because I know I will be accepted. So that's in a healthy relationship. But in a toxic relationship, it's the opposite. The feeling that you can't be yourself. Instead, you have to walk on eggshells, so careful, monitor everything. What you say or what you do. You feel like you need to think twice before you say anything. or else he's going to get upset. You don't know if you can bring a topic up. So you're so careful, and that's a sign of a toxic relationship. You are afraid to bring things up to him because you don't know how he will react. And saying nothing is better than saying something and having him get angry. Have you experienced this already? I mean, you cannot bring anything up. You cannot share your feelings with a person. So you suffer in silence and hope that somehow, someday, things will change. But it's not going to change by itself unless you do something. You may not even recognize that the person in this relationship, the influence and the effect and the damage it does to your life. But you love him and you stay in the relationship. Thirdly, he puts you down. So this is one of the biggest signs of a toxic relationship. Put you down. So, and if you in far enough, you already are feeling like, now what's put down? Not listening to you, embarrass you in front of people, or even if you're in private, just put you down. You the problem, I'm fine. If you want to go for help, you go. You the insane one, not me. So your feelings doesn't matter to that person the way how you feel. And you know, if you long in a relationship like this, you may even agree with the person. You may even agree with the person about these negative things. You know, in relationships are good. Each one of us, we are in relationships. But it must be healthy relationships, not toxic relationships. Relationships should help you to grow. Relationships should help develop you. The other partner must help you to bring out the best in you. If you read in Ephesians chapter 5, that's good relationships. But toxic relationships is not good. In toxic relationships, you won't feel accepted. Your partner will have little tolerance for your negative qualities, and he may shame you and belittle you for them. The fourth one, you fight dirty. Now, in all relationships, we're still in this world, a sinful world. So sometimes there will be fights. But in healthy relationships, couples will fight to resolve the issue. But in toxic relationships, they will fight one another to bring each other down. So toxic couples normally fight to win. They use fights as an opportunity to tear the other person down, to hit below the belt, to get out all the anger and resentment they feel. That's in toxic relationships. They fight to win, they fight dirty. The fifth one, he won't work on it. He doesn't take responsibility, and instead he will blame you. And makes it as if it's your fault. I've heard this many a time. Relationships with couples. And normally, mostly, it's the men. Men are very proud beings. And they think that the wife is nagging because she just raised her feelings, how she feels. Women are emotional, very emotional. And they want to talk about their feelings. And many times the man will say, I'm fine. You go for counseling. It's you that get upset over every little thing. But then it's not little things. If your partner comes to you with something that bothers her, we must listen. I normally say, if my wife's not happy, then how can I be happy? Then I'm not happy. If she's happy, then I'm happy. Yeah, you will say, if you're upset, it's because you're too sensitive or emotional or irrational. So they want to shift the problem, the blame. I'm fine, they will say. He may say sorry, but he doesn't really own up to anything and think that you have a problem. Haven't you seen this in your relationship? Yes, I've seen it many a time. He doesn't want to talk about it or work on it or try to change. The most important quality to look for in a partner, if someone is willing to work on it. And it costs two people to make a relationship a success. Both must work on it. But in a toxic relationship, the partner wants the other person to change and to work on it. And then you want to shift the problem. Okay, I just want to, I'll see if it will show a video clip to see if you're in a toxic relationship. Yeah, it will play. Just get it going. Oh, now we don't have sound. Maybe while they're trying to get sound. Any questions? This one, all of them.
I have a question on the first one. If you could just, sorry, what was it? You don't feel, what was the first one? You never feel good enough. Pastor,
Self-worth.
yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, toxic relationship.
Is there no possibility that a person, maybe who's come from a previous bad relationship or who has not experienced good relationships, and then they meet you, but they have this feeling of inadequacy in themselves already that you didn't cause? Is it not possible that someone may feel not good enough, but it's not something you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now self-worth is very important. Remember, God created you. You are precious in the sight of God. You're not junk. You're not nothing. There's a purpose for your life. So low self-esteem can land you in many a cycle of relationships. Because you yourself have low self-esteem, not caused by somebody else. Right. So that can happen. Okay. Now, what happens, sometimes there was a relationship, and then that relationship ends. And now they get into another relationship too soon, maybe just to show that other person. But healing has not taken place. They're not focused. They're getting in this relationship because there's someone that showed an interest. And they jump into this relationship. And then the cycle can repeat itself. And it can just get worse. So if a relationship came to an end, give some time for healing and tell yourself, I've learned some lessons from this relationship. I'm not going to hit my head twice. So you will have an idea what to look out for. Okay, thank you. Okay, components of a healthy relationships. You see, communication is on the top. Trust, respect, love. These are only 4 components. There's others as well. So communication, conflict resolution skills, how to deal with disagreements. Because we will disagree sometimes. But how are we going to deal with it? And this is how you deal with any conflict. First of all, now listen carefully, don't point finger. You're the one. Never point finger. Once you point finger, it means you attack, and that person will attack back. So, I don't know if you've heard about, you use the I, feel. So you start with you point to yourself. I am upset. You express your feeling. I am upset because. So now you're going to give a reason. You promised that we will go out and you came 1 hour late. So how can we change it? You didn't attack the person. The person was in the wrong. But you say, you express your feeling, and you've also mentioned the problem. So then the other person won't attack back. Okay? But then they must work on the problem. So define the problem clearly from both points of view. State what you agree upon. Brainstorm together. That's when you have to make a list sometimes, each one, and you discuss it, you brainstorm, and then you choose the best one. Then state what changes each of you is personally willing to make to arrive at a solution. So the focus must not be on the person, but to find a solution to the problem. The focus should be there. And then summarize the best solution you have considered. Trust.
I'm laughing because starting with the I doesn't necessarily mean it will blend there. I can still say, I am upset because you did this. So it's so that the important part is to eliminate that. Because you can still start with I and to say I'm owning that I'm upset, and then immediately say it's because you did this or you didn't do this. So
Yeah. Now, but the main thing is you start with you. You do not attack. And you also then going to say the problem. And he or she is the cause of the problem. I wanted to use the car, but you took the car, and so that's the problem.
Yeah, thanks, Pastor. If it's okay, I just want to role play with Alan, so that we can see how we can implement that to solve the problem. The same example that you were giving, I am upset because we're supposed to go out and you came 1 hour late.
I was late because I was working. I had a meeting which ran over time. That's why I was late.
Yeah, but you and I had a set time and you could have communicated. Because I was waiting for you for an hour.
I wasn't able to communicate because we were in a meeting, so I couldn't be on my phone. And I told you I was going to have a long day today.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Okay.
Your apology doesn't feel genuine. Your apology doesn't feel genuine. I feel like you're just explaining for the sake of explaining. You don't respect my time. I also have plans in my long day. I canceled plans with my friends, my girlfriends, but you deciding that you're just going to apologize and say gay.
Okay, I hear you. But there was nothing I could do about it.
Okay. Let's learn a lesson from this as well. We don't add to a problem and make it worse. So we listen to the person. So we're not going to complicate things, and we remain focused on your late coming. And I've expressed it. I'm upset, and we must be willing to accept apologies. And the solution is, next time, just send a WhatsApp message and just inform. And that's important. You want to be informed because you could have done other things too. So there's a solution as well.
Just a question on this, and just in this example, right? He probably feels like I'm just apologizing just to keep the peace, right?
Yeah.
How do you then pivot towards the solution without brushing it off or doing it too early? How would that work in this scenario? Because you don't want to just come to the solution. You actually want to express that I'm mad at you because you did 1, 2, 3. How would that look like? Because that's where the hard part is. Like sometimes you already know the solution, but you don't know if that person understands the gravity of what has happened before we rush to the solution.
Yeah. Let me just mention, when we practice, it seems it's difficult. At the beginning, maybe it will be but as you practice it, the I expressing yourself, and the problem, mention the problem, and the solution. If you practice it, and when a person says he's sorry or she's sorry, we must accept it, but then they must mean it. Okay, let's give the 2, then we carry on. This afternoon, we're going to do the 10 questions you should ask before you say I do. And then, so keep some of your questions before we start that session.
Okay, I just have 2 questions based on this role play. How do you deal with a sense that you are dealing with someone who is extremely defensive, like in a situation where I know even if I can start with the I and try all diplomacy that I have in my book, at the end of the day we're going to fight because, and especially, I don't know, I'll be biased, women tend to be struggle with saying I'm sorry, you know?
Yeah.
So how do I deal with that situation of, okay, I want to express myself, and at the end of the day, I don't want someone to make me feel stupid for expressing myself. 2,
let me just, then you're in a toxic relationship.
Hey, okay, I don't know.
So if the other person doesn't and they want to laugh at you, and that's like putting down, they want to listen to you, then there's nothing that you can do to change that person. But tell that person.
Sometimes you just love the person, you know? Okay, my other question was, say I'm the one who's wrong and I'm dealing with a partner who wants to address me. Maybe I'm the one who's toxic, I don't know. But how do I not perceive things as like pettiness? Like, okay, you know that I was at work, and you know that sometimes maybe it's, as you know, on Friday, sometimes it gets really hectic, but now you're upset that I'm 30 minutes late for a date, you know. Yeah. I had other things. Like, how do I deal with myself? What if I'm the one who's toxic in this situation? What do I need to do to because I love my partner, but I also have this sense that this person is just petty and I can't deal with this.
Okay, just remember, in relationships and marital relationship, it's the little things that count. Yeah? And the little things can become big things at the end. Like remembering a birthday or anniversary. Sometimes we forget as men. Yeah? But yeah, that little courtesy, that means a lot to women. So let's just keep that in mind. The little things count, and we can work on it, and it doesn't cost any money. So if the girlfriend friend raised something, and for you it seems little, but it's not. Like, for instance, when my children were small, and at preschool, three girls, they will come with the pictures and so on. For them, those pictures means a lot. But for the mother, there's a lot of pages already all over. I'm just going to throw it in the bin. What will it do to that child? For them, it means a lot. If your girlfriend cries because by accident you drove over the puppy or the cat, you can't just tell her, man, I'll buy you another cat or another puppy. No. You must be there for, I understand, I'm sorry, I know how you feel. And you see? Okay, and then, do you want to? Okay, just first, and then, okay, the mic is there already, then we bring the mic here.
Okay, what I wanted to say shortly is most arguments, they don't stem from the issue you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Usually it's a completely different issue, and that only stems up. So by trying to solve what you are discussing, you're actually discussing the wrong problem. Like in the case of where you come 30 minutes late, it's probably you've always done it even when you are not busy. So your friend thinks, look, this is now a pattern. So they will, even when you have a genuine reason, they will not be able to accept it. So usually before you get into an argument, try to understand where you are both coming from. So by understanding that, you find that what you're arguing about isn't even an issue. You probably agree on it, but it's because of what has been happening or a completely different issue.
Yeah, that's true. Remember little things. If you do not address and face things, you're building a wall. And then sometime in future, the partner will only do a little thing. I mean, they've done worse things in the past, but they say the last straw will break the back of the camel. Because of all these little things that we haven't addressed. And then the last thing, I'm finished, I'm done with this relationship, and they'll walk out. Last one.
Yeah, so I think he covered what I wanted to ask. Does this strategy work for the 10th time he's been late? Because I think, how do you communicate that to express that I'm really getting fed up with you?
Yes.
But I think
we must mean it when we apologize. Don't do it next week again. And then again and again. That's not taking you seriously. Okay, trusting. Trust is very important in any relationship. So a trusting relationship let you hang out with friends. There's no jealousy and so on. But in a not trusting relationship, they will just keep tag and call every 5 minutes. Where are you? And with whom? And so on. Then secondly, understands when you have to change plans. And then not trusting, won't let you change plans or make you feel guilty. Then trusting, let you wear what you're comfortable with. Not trusting relationship, want to dictate. Okay, respect, very important. You don't start a relationship with someone, whether it's a lady or the man, the boy or young man, that doesn't show any respect. First of all, to God. Second, to his or her parents. And then thirdly, to you. If a young man or young woman doesn't respect her parents, they will never respect you or your parents. So, respect. So on a practical level, respect includes taking someone's feelings, needs, thoughts, ideas, wishes, and preferences into consideration. Secondly, it means taking all of these seriously and giving them worth and value. If somebody respects you, even the little things, they will listen to you and be there for you. And in fact, giving some respect seems similar to valuing them and their thoughts and feelings. Lastly, it also includes acknowledging them, listening to them, being truthful with them, and accepting their individuality and idiosyncrasies, temperaments. So respect, I accept you as you are. Okay. Love. What does love mean to you? So what is the difference between love and infatuation? I know in the previous session we did some 12 points about infatuation. Always remember that sex does not equal love. So what's the difference between real love and infatuation? Infatuation, when you find someone who is absolutely perfect, and there's no such a person, then you must know that's infatuation. Love, when you realize that they aren't perfect and it doesn't matter. Okay, dating violence. So let us not close our eyes and don't think it doesn't happen in church families. It's happening on a big scale. Dating violence is defined as physical, sexual, psychological, and emotional violence within a dating relationship. Examples of abuse in dating relationships include emotional abuse, making the partner feel insecure, name-calling, put-downs, criticism, humiliating, attacking the person's capabilities, saying nobody wants you. Mind games, what we've seen in that video clip, making you feel guilty, making you feel crazy, blaming the partner for things that go wrong, having the partner wait by the phone. Have you experienced? Maybe some of your experiences. Thirdly, isolating the dating partner from friends and family. Pressuring the partner to give up activities, sports, work, and hobbies, keeping tabs on the dating partner when they go out by paging, calling, and dropping calls or dropping by, using intimidation, breaking objects, punching walls, threatening looks, threatening to hurt the partner, threatening the partner's family, friends, or pet, destroying treasured belongings. Then acting extremely jealous, not allowing dating partner to talk to anyone of the opposite sex, accusing the partner of flirting or sexual intercourse with others. So that's emotional abuse. Physical abuse, shoving or pushing, squeezing the shoulder, restraining by holding the wrist, holding a hand tightly, shaking, pulling hair, slapping, punching, kicking, choking, pushing, out of a car. Sexual abuse, any unwanted sexual contact, comments, or gesturing within the relationship, manipulating a partner into doing something sexual that makes them feel uncomfortable. So all of those things. Okay, I'm not going to touch on this. This is just to find out. You can get the material if you want it, if it's if you're in a healthy or a toxic relationship. Just 2 examples here that happened in real life. Jennifer and Crescenta, a high school honor student that was murdered by an ex-boyfriend on February 5, 2006. Another case, Bana high school student fatally shot. May 11, 2007, she was a 17-year-old high school girl, and they had one child, estranged with the boyfriend, and one afternoon the boyfriend was waiting outside in the car, and when she came home, and as she opened the gate, he got out of the car with a shotgun, and he shot her in the back. She fell, and he tried to get into the house, and then he turned the shotgun on himself, and he killed himself. Sophie Elliott, stabbed to death by a former boyfriend on January 9, 2008. She was stabbed and cut 216 times. A mother described on-again, off-again relationships between a daughter and a boyfriend. Conversations she had with a daughter in which Sophie told her of put-downs from him, a series of arguments and assault that happened in his flat a week before her death, and how he had told her she had ruined his chances of becoming a lecturer at the university. These are some of the signs. There was a young girl that was murdered in the veld 2 years ago. Church members. And the same on and off relationships. She spoke to a friend about abuse, but she went back to him, and he killed her in the veld and burned her body. So don't let this happen to you. What can you do? Go to a safe place, remove yourself from the situation. Okay, this is just if somebody approaches you to help, and if somebody approaches you for help, keep everything confidential. Don't share it with others. If you cannot assist the person, then ask if you can refer to someone. Okay, let me go to the last slide. Personal rights in a relationship. The right to refuse requests without having to feel guilty or selfish. The right to express my feelings, including anger, as long as I don't violate the rights of others. The right to be competitive and to achieve. The right to have my needs be as important as the needs of other people. The right to decide which activities will fulfill my needs. The right to make mistakes and to be responsible for them. The right to have my opinions given the same respect as and consideration as others. The right to change my mind. The right to be independent. The right to be treated respectfully. The right to be cooperative and giving and not to be taken advantage of. The right to be safe. What you need to remember, any kind of abuse is not your fault. You don't deserve being treated this way. You should always be safe. No means no. Okay, we will entertain questions, further questions this afternoon. It's about toxic relationships and healthy relationships. So keep your questions for this afternoon when we will do 10 questions you should ask before you say, I do. So we will cover a broad spectrum of things this afternoon. Let's bow our heads in prayer. All merciful and gracious Father in heaven, there's one relationship that will never fail us or disappoint us, and that is our relationship with you. And therefore I pray that each one of us will secure that relationship first before we get into any other relationships. And I pray, Lord, for each family. I pray for each household. I pray for each of our young persons, that you will grant them wisdom, Lord, in choosing a partner, and that they should know, Lord, that they are precious in your sight and that you love them, and that they, if there's any toxic relationships, then they should do something about it. But I pray that you will bless each one, Lord, and that you will embrace us with your arms of love. In the name of Jesus, amen.